Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm in a really good mood today, I'm sure you can tell. It's an exciting day. I'm having a fabulous time sharing something that I'm very excited about to share with everybody. So bear with me. All right. My name is Sroda Aglago. Thank you for joining me on Love, Forgive, Live. I hope everybody's having a great time and enjoying their week ending. Sunday today. If it's a Monday where you are, good morning to a new week. And of course, this podcast is dedicated to inspire, motivate, encourage, and empower my brothers and sisters in the human race. I'm for everybody. Don't discriminate, just for everybody. You want to feel good? This is the place to come. You want to hear something positive to walk away with? This is the place to come. You want to walk away with something that you just learned that makes you feel empowered. You got it. This is the place to go. My day job is normally mental health counseling, therapy, life skills coach or life coaching. I also do a lot of parent coaching and sometimes spiritual coaching. It depends on what my client needs and what they came to me for. I do this to share what I impart to others so that I'm not the only one that they're coming to. Everybody can share in what I have and what I have learned so far in life and with my practice and what I do. I find empowering others exciting. It's very liberating for me to help one another because I think we are here to fulfill our goals, our calling. And if I have to do something, just a little bit, to help my brother and sister realize who they are, where they're going, what they're working on, and find answers, then I know I've served right. So thank you for joining me. Today, I did mention I'm very excited about what I am going to share today. I do believe I spoke about something a while ago that I am writing a memoir or a book that is more or less my memoir and lessons that I've learned in life. And that's what this show or this podcast is named after. Love, Forgive, Live. That's actually the title of the book. So I am spreading that message of love, forgive, live, because I have lived it. Boy, I have lived it, and I'm still living it, and it's not stopping. The moment you stop, you know you're not in this world anymore. So I am still an embodiment of these three words. And I didn't even notice it until one of my best friends said, "Oh my gosh, you captured who you truly are with these three words. How did you come about that?" It was actually interesting. I had a dream and this was shown to me. So I ran with it. Totally ran with it. And it became my thing. I love the saying, love, forgive, live, because it is so packed with everything we need in our world to navigate the stuff that we come across or what happens to us. It is important that we learn these lessons. But the thing I'm going to talk about is a lesson on being present. This is in the part of the book that talks about the love, forgive, live. And in the live portion, there's a heading called Practicing Presence. Practicing presence. Practicing presence is so important that if we don't have that, we get lost in what we are doing and where we're going and how we're going to get it done. And the specific area I paid attention to is these 4 questions I came up with. And that is, do you love me? Do you see me? Do you hear me? Do I matter? 4 questions. There are 4 questions that you need to ask yourself when practicing presence with anyone. I'll repeat these questions again. Number 1, do you love me? Number 2, do you see me? Number 3, do you hear me? 4, do I matter? These 4 questions represent affirmations. Affirmations that we are looking for from each other when we communicate with one another. And it can be applied as a strategy for presence in every relationship. And I'm talking any relationship. Work, family, business, customer relations, in schools, and even when giving a speech to people. If these things are not available or being shown in a communication or in a relationship, it can create a big problem. These questions lay at the subconscious level in our mind, but are there nonetheless. Every time we come in contact with people, we are looking for these things. Anytime you communicate, you need to ask yourself these questions. And ask yourself, before the questions even, am I showing these things to the person? And the first one, remember, is, do you love me? When communicating with people, you must show, do you love me? And this goes to the core of who you are. First of all, ask yourself this daily and answer it. Do I love me? Do I love me? Because guess what? You must be able to love you in order to love others. Answer it. If the answer is no, how do you expect to communicate with people when you don't love yourself? And the topic or what you will speak about is not coming from the heart. It's not coming out of love. How do you want them to respond to you? Do you think it will be important if it's not coming out of love? You realize that people don't even respect you. They don't even respond to you. Because love recognizes love. And if it's not available, love will not be drawn to something where it is not. Love can only be drawn to love. So ask yourself, do I love me? Or do you love me? Do you love yourself? Do you love what you're saying? And the person that you're speaking to, is there a mutual love, understanding? I'm not saying you go and say, boss, I love you, but understand that you have a level of respect and kindness that come out of a place of love. When you speak to your employer and you show that you don't even want to be there, you don't love the job, imagine how that would look like. Imagine how they treat you or how they respond to you. This question is very important, and it's a great strategy to use when you're communicating with people, anyone in any relationship. This is constantly being looked at. I'm sure most of us haven't thought about this much, because to me, when it occurred to me in a dream, and I woke up and I wrote this down and I thought, oh my goodness, this is right. Hardly do we pay attention to these questions. The second one, do you see me? Answer that first before you go out to doing it. Do you see yourself? Are you honest with yourself? Look in the mirror and recognize who you truly are. Look in the mirror. Make an assessment of who you are. Do you see you? Truly, honestly see you? Or are you dodging yourself? Are you dodging everything about you and not see it and negate that for something else and decide not to pay attention at all? Do you see me? And when you're speaking to people, after you see yourself accurately and see who you are, recognize it, own it. When you are speaking to the person, are you paying attention? Are you being focused? Can you see them? And it's funny, when you're speaking to someone and you don't really pay attention and see them, they begin to resent you. They get angry. They don't take you seriously. And so you're projecting the idea that they shouldn't take you seriously. Because guess what? You're not seeing what is in front of you. So see yourself first. See what you're doing. And recognize that. And allow yourself to get the person that you want to be. Because as you do, it becomes important. So always be aware of this. The third question. Oh, actually, let me repeat that again on the second one. Do you see me? I recall doing this practice for myself as an affirmation in the morning one day. And I asked my question, do I see me? And the strangest thing, when I asked that question, I didn't think about it. I didn't process it for what it really means the question meant. And I just looked at myself and said, yeah, I see me. Then it's like something prompted me in my head within me and said, do you really see you? Pay attention. Take a good look. And once I took a good look, I was like, yeah, I have not paid attention to me. I haven't. For a while, I wasn't even seeing myself. So it prompted me to take the time to really assess who I am and what I'm doing. So I'm urging you, my brothers and sisters who are listening, do this practice. Give it a shot for a week and you'll be surprised what you find out about yourself. It's an eye-opener. I remember giving this topic when I started writing, and then I got so excited when I practiced it on myself and got very excited about it. And I was like, oh my God, this thing's amazing. I'm so glad. And I started giving it to my clients, especially married couples. And I would hear them come back and say, wow, after approaching this and using this strategy, my spouse recognized that I'm much more attentive. I'm more involved in the conversations that we have. And at one time, one spouse told me he felt like he had a plan. He had a plan on how to stay focused when he's communicating with his spouse. He had a plan on how to be present, because he confessed that he was used to going in his head about what he's going to do next and how he's going to get up from where they're talking and then go and do. So then what was happening when his spouse was communicating, he wasn't really invested in it. He wasn't being focused. So when she would turn around and say, hey, can you just repeat the stuff that I told you? It became a war. They would fight over this because guess what? He wasn't present. He wasn't listening. Then she gets upset and thinking he doesn't care. So I was very excited when clients would come back and they were like, this is something, this works. This is something that helped them. And of course, after learning these tools, some of them, it was good enough for them to stop coming to sessions because they felt they had something, a plan to follow so they can work on their relationship and make it stronger. So please, by all means, use these tools. And when you do, write to me. Let me know. I love to know what you think about this and how it helped you. And if it didn't, let me know too, because I think it's important for me to learn from what didn't work and what worked, because I'm a work in progress just like anybody else. I don't have all the answers, and I'm not an expert. We are learning as we go. I am just a facilitator to my clients. And if an idea is shared to me in the dream and I think it is going to be great, I share it. I allow that to become a voice for everybody to hear so they can also use it to better help them navigate this life we are living in. Okay? The third one is, do you hear me? Do you hear me is particularly important. And one example I always use is your children. When children speak to their parents, the strangest thing is they're very keen on watching and looking at their parents and recognizing whether they hurt them or not. Because when children are not being heard when they are communicating with you, it's extremely painful. And the same thing when you go to work and your boss is communicating with you and you don't listen, that could be dire consequences for you. It could be really dire, where you become someone that you're not going to recognize because you get in trouble, and you would really not like that. It looks bad on your reviews. It looks bad on your performance. It looks bad. So hearing and listening to tone and everything that's being communicated with you is very important. This is the same way when you are dealing with friends, family, everybody. Being attentive enough to hear what they're saying is important. And the same thing goes. Look in the mirror. Do you hear yourself? You know, the funniest thing is this. I sometimes hear people speak, and in my head, I'm like, did they hear themselves when they said that? Did they realize what they just said? If they really heard or took the time to hear themselves, I don't think they would say the things that they're saying or what is coming out of their mouth. Lord knows, I used to do that. And sometimes once in a while I'll slip now and then. But being attentive enough to hear you, that will give you the tools you need to begin to hear others. Because hearing is a special thing. Hearing gives you an incredible ability to respond accurately, where your response matches what you heard. A lot of the times people think they're hearing you, but they're not hearing. And then when they respond, you become bewildered and people get very angry with you. And you even get angry with yourself and saying, why did I respond? Like, what was wrong with me? Because you were not listening. You were not hearing what is going on. So, do you hear me? Do you hear yourself? Are you applying this strategy to yourself? Are you able to use this? Number 4. Do I matter? Do you matter, or do I matter at all? And this goes deep, very deep. Ask yourself, where am I on the list of things that I've made to do, the to-do list, or the list of priorities in your life? Where am I? Where am I on that list? Write them down and then look on your list. If you're a list maker, look on your list and see, are you anywhere on the paper? Usually people come to me, or clients will come to me, and we are talking about it, and then we would ask this question, and then they would say, I'm not. And the strange thing is, I go, wow. And you are the vehicle that takes you from A to B and do all the stuff that you have to do. But then you begin to take yourself out of the question, where you're not on the list. Because what you're literally saying to yourself is, you don't matter, you're not important, so why should you bother? And that is something that I think, if you take the time to listen to yourself and begin to notice where are you on the list, you realize that you need to take you seriously. You need to take the time to put yourself back on the list, because when you put yourself back on the list, you are able to respond to what is around you. One thing I became aware of is this. As you are putting yourself on the list and saying, do I matter? Here's the thing. If you don't matter to you, how do you expect others to take you seriously? You want them to see you and say you matter. How could you do that? And when they don't respond to you, you get upset. So what you in other fact, what you are saying is that you are upset at yourself, not at them. People get very offended. They acted like I don't matter. Well, you don't put yourself on there, so why do you expect other people to do it for you? Put yourself on the list. Prioritize yourself. What is it about yourself that you need to do for you to make sure that you're okay and show that you matter to you? Then you can go around, because if you matter to you, I promise you'll be able to fight other people's stuff that matter to you, especially when you're dealing with them. You've got to matter. You've got to matter, because once you matter, your perspective change about you. You begin to take you seriously. You begin to do the things that makes you thrive. So these 4 things, do them every day. As you do so, you begin to realize that you're more able to connect with people easily. You're more able to communicate with your employers, your spouse, your children, your neighbors, your community, and the environment that you're living in. Because as you do so, people recognize it. You recognize it and people recognize it. And these strategies can help you a great deal. So let me repeat it again. I hope you remember. Do you love me? Do you see me? Do you hear me? And do I matter? Or do you matter to yourself? These are the things you need to look out for. And use it as a communication strategy, because it's at the forefront. in your subconscious. But nonetheless, it's there. Don't ignore it. Pay attention. Go through this. And every day, anytime you're going to communicate with people, I don't care if you write. I had someone who would write this on a list of paper. And before he approached people, he would look at it. Literally, he would give himself a second and kind of like do a sneak peek and put it back in his pocket. And then when he goes to people and they're talking, he's invested. He's going through this list and there. I had a client, use my strategy, and then they went to work, and within, and believe me, I was surprised. I won't lie. This client came back to me, and then he says, within a week of applying this strategy in his workspace, he was due for a promotion, and the employer decided to send him to a communication course to improve his communication, because he had shown signs that he can learn to communicate better, because they recognized that he was not communicating well. So every time it came time to promote people, they would overlook him because they thought he had shown that he was not interested in learning or improving on this. So they decided, how could they give this person a higher, more responsibility management position when this person is not able to apply themselves? But the moment they started using the strategy, they connected, and the employers were like, there's something there. This person could benefit from this program. So he was able to do the program, an 8-week communication training program, finished it, and was able to get a promotion and moved on. And up to now, I get the client come back. This was years ago. Nearly 5 years ago. So you must understand one thing. These things are very important. And one time I went to a friend's house and to visit. She had a dog. And this dog is just precious. Oh my gosh, I love Lex. That's his name. Rest in peace, Lex. But at the time, he was young enough to be rambunctious and excited. So I would walk in the house, and Lex would meet me at the door. He would bark, and then, get so excited. And he was a Bichon. Very excited dog. And he knew I loved him. But if I didn't pay attention to him by seeing, because the love was already there, I loved him. And if he would notice that I'm not looking at him, so I don't see him. And then he will do more tricks to allow me to see him, but I'm not seeing him. And then he's looking for this other thing called, do you hear me? And he barks some more, and scratch things and go at it for me to recognize, pay attention and see him. Then I could see, do I matter? Because he started feeling sad that I'm not connecting with him. But he knew the love is there. The moment I start paying attention to him and I see him, I make eye contact with him. I smile. And then I say, I hear you. His ears perks up. Then the next thing is, I go, oh, you are so important. Come here. And he just comes and stands in both his hind legs, hands up, and I pick him up and I give him a hug. I would have to hug this dog before I hugged my friend's kids, before I even greet anybody, because he gets so excited. This is how important this is in any relationship, because animals themselves, your pets, would seek this from you. You must understand, this is so important. This is connected to all of us. Universally, this is required, not just from humans, for even our pets. I was reading something, or one of my, the child showed me A client showed me this. It's a little girl, and she said, we went through this list, and she said she needed this from her parents because she was feeling that she didn't have this. And I felt so bad for this child. And then she said, this is so important. Even rabbits will look for it. If you have a pet rabbit, and I'm thinking, yeah, rabbits are the cutest little things. They're just sweet. She said, yeah, they're sweet until you don't pay attention to them. They will bite you. And I was like, what? She said, yeah, if you don't show them love, if you don't pay attention to them, look at them. If they're not important to you, they'll bite you. They'll be angry at you. They'll act out. I was like, really? She said, yeah. And I'm like, a rabbit? She said, yes. I was blown away. So she said she needed this list to take to the parents and show them that she's not the one who is out of line by requiring the parent to show up this way. And I was like, wow, rabbits? She said, yes. I believed her. Because dogs sure show it. They will show you. So it's important to treat each other with this. Next time you're communicating with someone, take the time to go through this list. Ask yourself those questions. Am I bringing that to the table? Am I bringing that to this communication, this relationship? And if so, how important is it to me? And if not, what do I need to do in order to present this? Because if you're present, this will be up. If you're not present, it'll be missing. So that tells you something. You're not practicing present, because if you're not practicing present, you will miss out on all the stuff that you're supposed to learn through these 4 things. You will become stuck because you're not practicing what you will be able to seek and find. And you just be going in a circle and repeating the same thing over and over and over. And that's not good. That's not cool. So understand one thing from what I've shared. It matters a great deal that you put these things into practice. And teach yourself this so that you can begin to cultivate the relationship, the right relationship, out of all this. And not on a surface where it's empty and there's nothingness. Your time is way too valuable. Use it for the right things. Use it for what you need. Use these strategies. I know it helped me become a better person. It helped me become more attentive. It helped me to become a better therapist. It helped me to become a stronger and better and an attentive life coach. It gave me a chance to recognize how to stay focused on what is being discussed with me. Because as that is happening, it gives me the ability to stay connected. Connected to source, connected to humanity, connected to my own heart, and with what is going on around me. There's no doubt you'll be able to use this for your own advantage. So go ahead. This part of the lesson I just shared is in the chapter, I think it's the part 1 portion, because there's part 1 and part 2, the part 1 portion of the book. And I'm excited. Right now I'm doing the 4th round of editing, and it's a lot of work, but I'm excited for how far this book has come. It's not easy. I thought writing was just write down what you think, send it to an editor, they review it, do the corrections, tell you fix this, send it, and they approve it. They're like, good, okay, let's go to print. Nah, it's a lot of work, And I'm learning. It's a learning curve for me, but I'm open to the learning and the challenge. I'm not one to run away or shy away. But I'll be bringing you news about the book as time goes on. Next week, I'm going to try and see if I can bring a guest to talk about something that we can discuss. Normally, like I said, I do not have a topic until the day of, sometimes within the hour. I allow things to be authentic. I allow things to be organic in a sense that the flow of what is to be shared comes to me just before I start recording. I do not plan ahead and say, oh, let me plan this. No, that is me trying to control something. I do not control anything. I allow Source to direct me, teach me, show me what to speak about and why it's important. I do not make this thing up. This stuff, most of them have been something that I dreamt about, and it was given to me in dreams, and I just write down. And I start practicing and recognize that, wow, they are powerful teachings, and I will run with it. For that reason, I take this podcast seriously. It's fun. Like I said, I started it out as just something to do, but it's become something that sustains me and keeps me going. I do a live stream every other week on Tuesdays. I've done one this past week already, so the next one will be happening 2 weeks from now. I will announce it so that those of you who want to join me and listen in or participate, let me know, and I'll send you the information. You can send comments, questions, and I can address them on the live stream. One thing I also wanted to talk about is when I come on, most of the talking, when I'm doing it, it's not like I'm reading something, like I've said, unless there's a topic. Like last week, I think I read something from A Course in Miracles. If I didn't, then that means I did that on a live stream. But I allowed that flow to happen. Okay? And sometimes I do recognize that I get very excited. I will work on my excitement. I'm like a little kid. When I latch onto an idea, I get excited, I get giddy, and I start sounding like a child. Forgive me for that. That's just my way of getting into the moment. Remember, I live in the present and day by day, and I allow myself to feel as things are unfolding. So I don't micromanage things. I don't try to control anything. I like things to flow freely, because as someone that I see myself as a vessel for Source to work through, just like everybody else, I allowed and spoke and asked for any block and any obstacles that may block me for the flow to happen. And as the flow happens, I will share what is being directed through me. And for that, I am grateful that you're with me through this journey, and I will make sure that we grow together and learn, and anything that I feel like will be worth sharing, we will share and make you know about it. Those of you who would like to write to me, my email address is loveforgivelive@gmail.com. The love is spelled as LUV as in Victor, the number 4, give, GIVE, live, LIV as in Victor, E, @gmail.com. That's the email address. If you email me, I'll be certain to respond to you. If there's a question you want me to address on air, let me know. If there's something you want me to discuss or answer something, I will definitely do my best to respond to that. If you feel this is something that helped you, let me know too. And of course, I am on Facebook with the live stream under Love, Forgive, Live on Facebook. The moment you type that love period, forgive, live, forgive period, live period, and you'll be able to get me on Facebook. And then you can join in on the live stream. I have other videos that I've done on that live stream on Facebook. You can go in there, click on it, listen anytime as you want. And if you find something there that you want me to address, by all means, email me, and I will definitely make sure I respond to you and then address it for you. We are on Apple, Amazon, Spreaker.com. Spreaker is spelled SPREAKER.com. We are also on Twitter under the same name, Love, Forgive, Live. I also have an Instagram account. You can go there, like, and follow us. And of course, this is uploaded on YouTube. You can go ahead, subscribe to us, like us, let me know what you think. And if there's anything that I can address, I'll be certain to address it for you. My name once again is Sroda Aglago. And you are listening to Love, Forgive, Live. And it's my pleasure to share whatever I learn with everybody. Now, as I'm signing off, remember this. It's going to be a great week. Enjoy it. Have fun. Be present. Practice being present. And allow yourself to seek what brings you joy. Seek for joy, beauty, peace all around you, and you'll be able to receive it. For one, I'm excited because these are the things that I look for every day and create in my life and become methodical about it all and allow it. So there's a method I use. I create it every day and make sure I have that around me, because as you do so, there's a sense of peace that comes with it. Have a blessed week, everybody. Enjoy it, and I'll talk to you again next week, Sunday. I will bring a guest, and we will talk about something that would interest you. Signing off, my name is Sroda Aglago. Enjoy the music. Today I'm going to play the music a little longer, okay? Have fun and enjoy. Thank you. Have an awesome week. Signing off on Love, Forgive, Live podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.